Okay, we're here at the Mendocino Music Camp, and we're here with Rowan Storm. Thanks, Rowan.
Thank you.
You had a wonderful performance last night.
Thank you.
And I wanted to find out a little more about these instruments that you play. Can you show me, let's see, is it called a daff?
Daff.
Daff?
Mm-hmm. These are daffs. Now, I have to say something about the names of the instruments because it's really very confusing. That's one of the most confusing things about the instruments from the Middle East.
Yes.
Is that daff seems to be an Arabic word, and I believe it means wood.
Okay.
One of the meanings of the word is wood. And in the Arabic context, a daff is actually a rick.
I've been very confused about this.
Very confusing. I noticed that the tabla in Arabic context is a dumbek, right? And
yeah.
In India, it's something different.
Yes.
And a tar in North Africa is something like a frame drum, and in Iran, a tar is a stringed instrument, you know?
Yeah.
Related to the guitar.
Right.
Tar in Persian language means string, so the names of the instruments are very confusing. This is called a daire. This is from Iran. This is a traditional daire from Iran. Daire also is an Arabic word that means circle. In Iran, this is a daire. In northern Greece, a daire, and in Albania, a daire is more like a big tambourine with big zills.
Okay.
Okay? And so it's very, very localized. The names are very localized, and you have to make sure that whoever you're talking to, from what culture they are, when you're discussing what instrument. If I'm talking to an Iranian person and they talk about a tar, chances are really good that it's a stringed instrument, not a frame drum.
Ah.
And if I'm talking to somebody in the North African context, then a tar probably is a frame drum. So you have to check out who you're talking to. A daff in Arabic context, a tambourine. A daff in Iranian context or Kurdish context, this is a daff. So it is really confusing.
And these frame drums all have rings inside of them.
These do have rings, yeah. And this, it's not really known how the rings developed, but it does. It is a Kurdish instrument, and probably Kurdish, Iraq. You know, that border between Iraq and Iran, after all, is rather new.
Right.
And so the Kurdistan is not a country, unfortunately, yet. Maybe it will be someday. I don't know. But the Kurds live in an area that covers the border over in the area of Turkey and Syria and Iran and Iraq, basically. And there are Kurds, you know, in the diaspora, a lot of other places. But it's not really known when the rings got added. There is evidence that the frame drum is at least 5,000 years old, played predominantly by women in the ancient world.
Really?
And even in Uzbekistan today, the area of Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Iran, in that particular geographic area, this frame drum, the daire with the rings, is traditionally a woman's instrument.
Wow, so, great.
Some men do play it. Of course, the men have sort of taken over a lot of these instruments, but there are groups of women that do still play it, and they're among their own company. You know, men are not allowed into those groups. They dance and they sing and they play drums and they do all kinds of things, you know, that men are not allowed in.
And this country is again?
I believe Azerbaijan, Iran, Armenia, and Uzbekistan. Those are the countries that I know about. And that's just sort of the center. It goes out from there. The Uyghur people, I'm probably not saying that right. Uyghur. It's a Turkic-speaking group of people who live in Western China, and they also play a drum similar to this with rings, and it's kind of, you know, in that general part of the world.
Great.
I haven't seen it anywhere else with these rings. It does have a striking resemblance to a grain sieve.
Yeah. Can you demonstrate the sound difference between those?
Sure. So this is the Kurdish daff with the ring. Sounds like I'm sifting grain.
Yeah.
Now I've got all kinds of dust on the floor. Whoops, my rings are falling off too.
Uh-oh. The
rings are always falling off, these things. And so, but together with it, this is called a breath. Nefes in Arabic means breath. So it's used by the Kurdish dervishes in their rituals, and I was fortunate enough to go to Iranian Kurdistan, and I went to the Iranian Kurdish women dervishes in Kurdistan, Iran, and I played with them in their ceremonies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It was first of all, the frame drum is considered a sacred instrument by the Sufis. They say that the reed, the ney instrument, is the voice of the soul searching for God, and it's so that's a really very important spiritual instrument. And also, along with the ney, the frame drum is considered a spiritual instrument. I think one of the reasons for that is that it's the heartbeat. It's it sets up a certain brainwave. Shamanistic practices depend on a certain frequency of drum beat in order to alter the brainwaves. And I'm sure that the drumming has something to do with that.
Yeah.
It literally changes the whole orientation of one's brain to play these drums. So this drum sounds like this. Here's the nefes without any strokes. Doom. Iranian diarrhea. There's a lot of fingers involved in this. This is more considered kind of like a folk instrument. This is for folk, not formal, not necessarily for rituals. This is definitely a ritual instrument, the daf. This is more lighter, kind of happy music for dancing and things like that. This is my design for a diarrhea.
Can you spell diarrhea for me?
D-A-Y-E-R-E-H would be one way to spell it.
Okay.
It is an Arabic word, so it's a transliteration from the Arabic alphabet to the Latin alphabet, so you can kind of make it up. But most often what I've seen is that spelling.
Great.
And here's another one, which hopefully will be on the market soon. This is much lighter. The rings have a different sound. Great. These are, and then there is just a plain frame drum. Here's a better one. This is what I brought for my students this year because it's a very inexpensive drum made by Remo. And it's all made of synthetic materials, so it's not susceptible to the changes of humidity, which these other instruments are with the natural animal skins. They're very susceptible to changes in humidity, but the plastic is not. So this is a very practical drum to have, very lightweight, and people can. I recommend something like this for my students because, excuse me, even if you want to just play this, if you want to just play some basic rhythms for playing with your friends, or to understand rhythms because you're a dancer, or if you just want to understand the music better, this is really a great tool to have because you can learn the rhythms of of the music, and you can practice. You can develop all kinds of dexterity without worrying about how heavy it is, because with the big drum they're very heavy, and you need to be an athlete to play them. But this one is very light. It's very portable. And you can do a lot of stuff.
Do you have any more of those?
I do.
Good.
I do have a couple left. They're $25 if you want to buy one.
I want one.
And that's just, I'm not, that's just
I know.
pretty much what I paid for them. And,
great.
This presentation has been brought to you by Gilded Serpent.